Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys are having a great and exceptional day at the San Texas. Everything's shaking but the bone because my black butt is at home. You know what it is, you know what it is. So today, straight up and down, today's the day before, it's last day of August, day before Labor Day, and I don't think I've ever really done a live specifically on Instagram in regards to shouting out and respecting the traditions of certain holidays and whatnot. And I know a lot of people, they have their perspectives and mindsets, whether they're for or against holidays. It is what it is. I'm going to put my perspective out there. Before I do, I want you to read this affirmation that's behind me that I saw earlier today and it inspired me. In fact, let me just get out the way. All right, it says, have friends who, trying to make sure it doesn't block out. All right, have friends who talk about investing, starting a business, gym, diet, and mindset. Gym, diet, mindset, investing, all right, and business. Now, before I even go into the Labor Day thing, because these are the most healthiest things to have around you. They're one of the biggest problems that everybody has had to deal with, or they're constantly dealing with right now, is being around toxic people and being in a toxic environment. Therefore, having a toxic mindset, therefore having a toxic life. So if you're around people who are talking about trying to eat better and do better, not everybody's meant to be skinny, because I'm going to go live on Facebook in regard and show my love for the thicker women out there. But not everybody's meant to be skinny. Everybody's not meant to be the same size. Not everybody's supposed to be physically fit. Because if we were, it'd be a very boring world. I think attraction comes in various different aspects in various different ways. But I think that being around a positive atmosphere, this is the reason why a lot of times people, when they come from a bad neighborhood, a war-torn country, coming out of prison and whatnot, they do not, and they get comfortable with being in those environments. Being an environment that's totally the exact opposite makes them feel very uncomfortable, and they look at it as something that they don't even want to be a part of. And a lot of times they come out of those environments, they can be victorious or they're not victorious. Because I've seen on both sides people coming from those environments being victorious and not being victorious. But, that goes to say that you have people that come out of a great environment and can come out very victorious, or very just, not victorious and actually become a loser and be killed because they're in a bad situation, go to prison. So, things can happen in various different aspects in various different ways. Sometimes it's not always about your upbringing. It's all about your mindset. So that's why I really want to hit the nail on the mindset aspect of being around people with the right mindset, no matter what their pockets are looking like, no matter what their education looks like. What is their mindset looking like? Because there's plenty of successful people who never even graduated from high school. Case in point, Marlon Wayans finally got his high school diploma. Didn't even go to college, but they were successful in other aspects because they were born to shine through other vehicles, through other industries, through other means, and not just be able to try to shine through the regular way of just go to work, go to school, get a job, raise a family, pay bills, die. Anyways, okay, so today's like I said, Labor Day. Let's get into Labor Day. So Labor Day, and I'm reading this verbatim, started in the late 19th century as a movement by labor activists to recognize the contributions of the American workers to the country's strength and prosperity. Before I even go forward, shout out to the American workforce, regardless of whether you're a blue-collar worker, white-collar worker, entrepreneur. Shout out to everybody who's contributing to this thing called the United States of America, contributing to this thing called capitalism, paying bills, going to work, paying taxes. You're contributing regardless of what anybody tells you, because without you and even people like myself, this thing called the United States of America would not exist from an economic standpoint. So I really wanted to put that out there. All right. So the Central Labor Union and the Knights of Labor organizations, the first Labor Day parade in New York City was in 1882. Now, whether you like labor unions or not, because you've had some that have done great things, like anything else, you have the good and the bad. You've had some labor unions that have done great things. You had labor unions that have been very bad. So, and then you have corporations that do great things without labor unions, and you have corporations that need labor unions to do right by working people. Even though we're living in the era of AI, where Having a job in the next 10 to 15 years could become a luxury, but we'll see how this thing goes. The Central Labor Union, like I already stated that state of Oregon became the first state to declare it an official holiday for Labor Day. So shout out to Oregon, a very beautiful state. I went there last year, twice last year, and it declared the official holiday in 1887. And by 1894, 30 states celebrated it in the same year. After the violent Pullman strike, President Grover Cleveland signed a bill into law making Labor Day a federal holiday. So shout out to President Grover Cleveland, regardless of political status, because that's one of the reasons why. And I remember hearing about that labor strike. He even had to have the National Guard come in to protect the labor workers who were striking against the corporation. And remember, I'm not anti-corporation. I'm not anti-capitalism. None of that, none of that at all. But there's been a series of videos specifically on TikTok that have been growing and growing about people crashing out because of the cost of living, the job market, and things of that nature. And I had these conversations with my mom all the time. And I say this in my video. I can be very introverted and antisocial. And I always say if I like having you around, then that means it says a lot about who I think you are as an individual. And if I feel like I got to beg to be around you, then there's no point in me being around you because I don't really like being around too many people to begin with. But that's just my personal opinion, all right? So, I'm gonna like some cold water. Anyways, speaking of diet, put some lemon in your water, put some cucumber in your water, put some little mint leaf in your water. Good for the immune system. Natural cleanse. Even though I took a cleansing tea today, so, get all the nasty toxics out of my system, hence the diet. But anyways, so at the end of the day, shout out to the labor unions, shout out to those who have the day off tomorrow, shout out to those who have to work tomorrow. But anyways, we have these holidays, and a lot of times they're really serious, and we forget what they really truly mean. And I think we should really acknowledge them because, my saying, Larry's anything goes, make money moves on your liberal like a fool, because the ultimate money move is not just earning income, saving money, investing your income. The ultimate money move is to be able to have some sort of peace of mind. The ultimate money move is to be able to have a little bit of relaxation. The ultimate money move is to be able to enjoy your life. I mean, that's why I'm getting back into this travel thing slowly but surely, because I notice when I take my time when it comes to things, they work out better. If I just sign up and, try to hit the ground running, I'm going to make way more mistakes. But the point of the matter is, you've seen my content on my other social media platforms, specifically Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, where you see me go travel to another city. Only other foreign country I've been to is Canada. I'm planning on going to the UK next in October. But the point of the matter is that I like to work hard and I like to play hard. And I like to be around other men who want to work hard and play hard. And this is Bobby. The older I get, the I notice that I'm not around as many men like that outside of my EY University family, because a lot of the men that they're in their Brady Bunch family stage, which is nothing wrong with that. But my mind said, it's not like I'm trying to be in my 20s going out to the club and hanging out, but I am at a point in my life now where I'm ready to see the world, man. I'm ready to go explore. And I don't want to just look around at the DMV in Woodbridge, Virginia, because I know there's a big world out here. There's more people to meet out here. There's more things to learn out here. There's more things to do out here. And there's a world out there, and I want to take a big bite out of it. You know what I'm saying? And because of labor movements, people that have jobs like myself, where we have a significant amount of time off, because remember, and I think that certain aspects of America might be turning back into this, but there was a time in the United States where literally, if you did not work, you did not eat, you did not get paid as far as having a job. Like people that worked at the factories, people that worked in the farms and whatnot. The day that they had to take a day off, like people would be sick as a dog and would still be working a hard physical labor job. And the day that they couldn't actually get out of bed and work is the day that they didn't get paid. And it might be a day where they go without drinking water or eating food. Even though back then you had more people growing their own food and whatnot, because it's not like you had real, big grocery stores and things of that nature. Supermarkets became more of a thing in the early to mid 1900s, and that was just really people going down to the marketplace and whatnot, and getting fresh fruit from fresh out of the field and whatnot. Back when food was way more purified compared to now. But anyways, case in point, being able to take sick leave when you're sick, being able to take annual leave, PTO, paid time off, that is a real blessing because a lot of working people, even in 2025, going into 2026, do not have that luxury. But because of the labor movements and whatnot, people have that, because in a lot of third world countries, that's considered a luxury to be able to get paid when you don't work. So that's why I said shout out to the labor movements on that aspect, the ones that was about really helping people and not just fattening their pockets. And, hopefully we will, you never know, hopefully we will get back to a place where we actually feel a cohesiveness and collectivism in this country and not everybody just at each other's throats fighting for the sake of fighting, because that's what it feels like now in 2025. Going into 2026 is you have so many people that are making a lot of noise, who are being distracted in various different aspects and various different ways in order for them to get clout, chase clout online and whatnot, or two, to just be distracted and distract various other people so they don't actually contribute to uplifting themselves, making themselves better from the things that I read off here in regards to being around people that are discussing investing, opening a business, diet, exercise, and just making moves. Okay? So it's just like, those are the things that, matter the most in today's world. And that's why I'm just like, let me make sure I read this right. Yeah, it was diet, exercise, investments, and starting a business. Yeah. So let me double check. Let me get up. Yep, diet, exercise, start a business, all that good stuff. Like, that's the stuff that matters at the end of the day, and that's what you, because to be around people that are uplifting and positive and not toxic is a beautiful thing. And I think we should all continue to strive to do these things, because I know that it'll make this world a better place. And I know that, it'll give us more grace. So, I'll leave it at that. So anyways, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to give some perspective in regard to Labor Day and go from there. And, just keep it positive, keep it real, and do what you got to do at the end of the day in order for you to try to pay some bills. Because so many people, like I said, so much noise is out there in this world. It's hard to fight through it sometimes. I get it. You know what I mean? It's hard to be around people who just have the right mindset. I get it. Trust me, because my circle gets shorter and shorter every day, because the people that I'm surrounded by are trying to, I'm surrounded by the ones, I like to call them the working, I like to call them basically the working retired people. The retired mentally, they're not going anywhere. Self-development, that was the one. Starting a business, investing, gym and diet, mindset, and self-development. These are the things that people should strive for until the day they die. My personal opinion, I'll leave it at that. All right? Because remember, retirement has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with income. So, on that note, family, do the great few things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Make money moves like you live, bro, like fools. It's in Spanish. Bienvenido a la vida. Welcome to the life.